Let's take a look at the most common problem we see with files submitted from our customers to have custom heat transfers produced. That's line thickness. When we say line thickness, we're referring to the thinnest area that we can print in a file that will show up and transfer cleanly where you won't have any loss of detail. If the line becomes too thin, that detail will be lost and then not transferred to your garment. That minimum line thickness for spot color heat transfers is 1 point. For Freedom heat transfers, or 4-color process transfers, that line thickness is 3 points. This image is a 2-color spot, so we're working off the tolerance of 1 point thickness. Now when we say points, we're referring to the thickness of the line weight, not the actual font size. Points is sometimes confusing and it's easy to think points in relation to fonts, but actually it's just the thickness of the line weight. So we'll show you how to check all areas of this file for line thickness issues. Now to get started, I'm going to take my line tool, and I have an image here that's sized about 11 inches wide, so it's a full front graphic. And usually with a graphic that big, I shouldn't have any line details, line size thickness issues, but I might. So let's make our line, make a 1-point stroke on our line, and then I'm going to make my line pink so it's clearly visible. And then select the line and compare it to different areas of the file. And I can quickly see that this image is easily thicker in all areas. Compare the line to my area here on the eye, and it's clearly thick enough. Now let's look at the smallest area of the file, which is the TM, and compare there to make sure that the TM is going to print cleanly. And I'll zoom in on that area so we can compare the line with the TM. And I'll place my TM just beside the pink 1-point line, and comparing it, I can see that the TM is clearly thicker than the 1-point line, so it's thick enough, it's going to print. We don't have any issues there. Now where a lot of people get in trouble is they have a file that is going to print just fine as a full front, but then they'll take that file, and we'll select our F&M logo here, and we'll copy it and reduce it down to say 3 inches wide to make a left chest logo. Now I'm going to place that left chest in the corner of my gang sheet here, and now because I've reduced the size of the image, I've also reduced the size of some of the line weights in that image. So I need to go and recheck those smaller areas, and I already know that the TM is the thinnest area in that file. So I'll select my line, I'll put it down here by the TM, and then let's zoom in so we can take a look. Zooming in closely on the TM, now my line is on top of it, so sometimes you need to take the line and select it, and then choose a range and send to back to put your line weight behind the image so you can compare it more easily. Now place it right behind the M, and I can see that here the pink line is clearly larger than the TM. So to correct this area, what I'm going to do is use the direct select tool, not just the selection tool, but the direct selection tool, and select the T and hold down shift, and I'll also select the M, and I'm going to add a stroke to this area, and I don't need to add much. So I'm going to add a 1/2 point, and then make sure that my stroke is the right color, so I'll pick my spot white, and then I'll deselect, just click off. And I can see now that if I compare the M with the pink line, that I am thick enough. And now my TM is going to print cleanly. I can confidently send this to press without any issues. Now keep in mind, the 1-point thickness rule only applies to spot color graphics. For 4-color process Freedom graphics, you want to have a 3-point line. So the only difference I would do is I would select this line, and when I choose the stroke, I'm going to choose 3 points instead of 1 point. And you can see the difference in line tolerance. This TM would not hold up in 4-color process, but as a spot color product, you could print that TM as a 1 point.